Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm Daniela Varga, your host, and an intuitive soul business coach. And in today's episode, I want to talk about the 4 ways I see so many entrepreneurs, so many business people are actually blocking their own success, and they don't even realize it. And these won't be your regular blocks that a lot of people talk about, like not having the right strategy or like not having the right platform and stuff like that. Because what I found is there are so much deeper rooted and bigger blocks that not just stop us from, I don't know, finding clients, but also literally stopping us from being able to make more money or being able to reach more people or just being able to create offers that that have a real impact in the world. So these are the blocks that I am talking about today. And these are the blocks that basically like hinder your process in your business in all the ways that you can imagine. So let's dive in. What is the first one? The first one is basically blindly following others. And by that, I mean that you take on others' processes, methods, tools, and everything basically without even thinking about it, without even thinking about, okay, is this actually something that is suitable for my business? Is this actually something that is suitable for me? How I am built, how I work, how I create the best, how I get to the creative flow the best, how my life is set up right now. Like, we don't think about it. We try to basically really just like follow whoever is the loudest, I think, or whoever's success triggers us the most in a way of, yes, I want that, or yes, I want her life, oh yes, I want his car, or yes, I want the travels that she is doing. And there's nothing wrong with those, nothing wrong with wanting those things, but we really fail to realize, really fail to stop and think about, okay, so if I implement this method, will this actually work for me? Is this actually something that I don't know, enjoy doing? Like, that is such a huge factor of the business, that doing things that you enjoy doing, using tools, using platforms, using methods that you truly enjoy and actually uplift you and opens up more of your gifts, not actually is shutting down them. I have my fair share of blindly following people with my previous business. I was in marketing before, like focused solely on marketing. Now I am in a much broader category. Like, I am also coaching. I'm basically coaching, helping people finding soul purpose and building a business around that. But when I was solely in my marketing business and I was helping with marketing with clients, having courses and stuff like that, I've been following everyone blindly who I deemed a bit more successful than I was. And it basically meant that I was trying to force myself doing things that I actually maybe wouldn't choose for myself to do. And the end result was that I hated it. I hated every time I started to implement someone else's methodology. And by this, I mean, and I will be very specific, I want to be very specific about this. It's amazing to learn from others. It's amazing to learn a new technique, to learn a new process from someone. But what we fail to learn is basically, okay, so I learn a process. How can I make this process my own? How can I make this process work for who I am, how I like to create, how I like to, I don't know, create content or build out my offers. So that's what we fail to do. And that's why it feels so forced a lot of the times when we create, like we try to, and again, that's why I say blindly follow others. So what I did is actually the same. Like I blindly started to like force myself into implementing everything that they teach exactly the way they teach it. And as I said, I ended up hating it. I ended up hating my business because what I did, I just actually created a job for myself because I didn't do what I wanted to do. I did what someone else told me to do. Basically, I had a new boss in my life because with creative people, and obviously you want a business, you're a very creative person, you have a business, you're a very creative person. For creativity, we need freedom. And a lot of us, especially, I hated jobs. One of the reasons I hated jobs that I had when I was still an employee is because I felt like I didn't have my creative freedom. Like I couldn't make decisions. I had to follow templates. I had to follow writing processes. I had to follow what my boss wanted to do and didn't have room to do what I wanted to try or what I wanted to do. And that was one of the main reasons I wanted to have my own business, to have the freedom to create whatever I want and however I want it. Now, if you have the same reason for creating the business, or one of your reasons is this for creating the business, blindly following people's processes is actually you creating the exact same dynamic you had while you had your job. Because now you are not following the instructions of your boss, you are following the instructions of someone else who is basically telling you the same thing. What you are doing is not right. You should do how I would do things, and that will make it right. So, and this will lead you to hate what you are doing, which will lead you will associate because you will hate the task, you will hate the process, you will associate it with the business. So your mind will like, oh my God, I hate business too. Like I don't have the freedom. I don't have the freedom of choice that I wanted to have with this because it will be very unconscious, but this will be your basically like the end result of your subconscious thought process of, oh, business is just as boring and just as hard and just as restricting as a job, which is not true. And the other end result of following people blindly is that you start to hate yourself. That's what happened with me. Because when the processes didn't work, that I started to, forced on myself, it wasn't like, oh, so maybe this is not the right process. Because we have so many wounds, we have so many, like, our go-to result or go-to reflection whenever not something is not working out is, oh, it's my fault. Because the process worked for them, and they say that they have a lot of clients who actually used it successfully. So the only logical explanation is that is something wrong with me. That I am the failure, that I am not good enough, that I am missing something very important here, either knowledge, either the capability, either a skill, or just maybe the gene of being an entrepreneur. I had that whole conversation with myself too. And just like, I'm not cut out to be an entrepreneur. Like, it's just not for me, which again is not true. If your soul craves to be an entrepreneur, if you have this insatiable desire to have your own business, that is not coming from a coincidental place, that is coming from your soul. And if your soul wants a business, you're meant to have a business. You're just not meant to have the same business as another person. You're meant to have your own specific business, because there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. I really, really want this to land. Nothing is wrong with you. The only thing why this is not working, because you are unique. We all are unique, and your soul pool, the way your soul wants to translate its purpose into a business or into a career. Basically, I am talking about business here, so we will talk about business. So your soul pool is basically your soul's way of creating a career and building something impactful from it. That's your soul pool, and that is super unique. That is super unique to you, and no one else is able to create that and fulfill that like you do. No one else has the same purpose and the same soul pull as you do. And your soul, because it wants to help you, and also your higher self wants to help you, you have everything right now you need, or the seed of the capability, you have that in you to be able to fully fulfill that business. Your strengths, your thought process, your ideas, your creativity, your personality, your soul gifts, everything is perfectly designed. Even your physical appearance, everything is perfectly designed for you to be able to fulfill this soul pull the best. But you won't be able to fulfill this soul pull, which will actually bring you the fulfillment that is beyond everything that you ever imagined, and the impact and the success and the money and the clients and everything, the freedom that you really, really crave so deeply. The soul pull will bring you that. When you translate that into the business, it will bring you the business that will give you freedom, that will give you the life that you actually would thoroughly enjoy, the work that you would thoroughly enjoy. Now, when you force others' methods on yourself, again, without thinking about it, you dispose yourself from your biggest gift, which is using your uniqueness, using your unique strength, using your unique gifts, using your unique viewpoint of the world, your unique experiences. Like, you're stripping yourself away from one of your biggest strengths and gifts. That's one thing. And I get it, it's hard because we have so many self-image wounds around not feeling special, around not feeling unique, that it truly blocks us from letting ourselves, stand out. Obviously, if you think about it, the ego doesn't want to stand out. Like, before we lived in modern society, we depended on being able to fit into a group, into a community, so we don't end up alone in the jungle, eaten by bears or I don't know, whatever animal was back then. But we are wired for wanting to be fit in, but in the meantime, to be able to experience the fulfillment and the joy and the success that we are here to create, we need to be unique. We need to be okay with being unique, and we need to root into our own uniqueness to be able to create that. And that takes time. That takes work. We work a lot on this in my coaching sessions, and in the process where I help people build the businesses, because this is one of the major pillars of someone being able to build a long-lasting, fulfilling business where you actually don't have competition. Because when you tap into your uniqueness, when you use your uniqueness to build a business, because there's only you, there's only one person who can fulfill your soul purpose, your soul pull the way you are. Just physically impossible to have competition that way, because no one can build your soul pull, just you. No one. Even if people are talking about similar topics or the same topic, they won't be able to deliver it the way you do. And the people who are meant to work with you through your soul pull will come to you. Like, they won't even have the thought of going to another person or another people who has like something similar to you, but because they feel like, no, I want her viewpoint, I want her processes, I want her tools, I want her methods, I want all the things that she's mixing together, because I just feel like I need that. this is what will bring this for you. So and again, learning from others is great. I don't want for you to feel like you cannot learn from others, but the emphasis here is on learn. Because what we tend to do, what I did was I did not learn. I just like tried to, like got a template or got a process. I was blindly following it. Didn't even take a second to, okay, so let's understand how this process actually works and why it works this way. And let's see, like, okay, this step is okay with me. Yes, this step, not so okay. Maybe I lose it, right? Like, we don't do that. We just like, oh, okay, here's this 4-step process. I am doing it and don't even think about it. So what you want to look for in any process or method or a program that you are investing in, look for not just solely tools, look just not for solely step-by-step processes, but also look for mentors who help you learn to think, to help you enhance your creativity, to help you find ways to, yes, give you a process, but also give you the power to see, like, take this process, test it out 3 times, and then see what works for you from this, and try to add something that is your flavor, right? Like, the best mentors out there will be who help you enhance your own uniqueness, help you enhance your own gifts, and build processes around that, not the other way around. Not who wants to force you into a process or a method that worked for them and maybe worked for a bunch of people, but there's no guarantee that it will work for you, because we are all so super unique. So that's a very important distinction. And when you blindly follow strategies and templates, you are, like I said, stripping yourself from your uniqueness, one of your biggest power as a business person, as an entrepreneur. You lose your creative power, which is basically your fuel into your business. Like, when you can tap into your creativity, when you can use your creativity, you are unstoppable. But when you are trying to use others' templates and methods, you will not use your creativity. You basically dim it down because you won't use it. Like, creativity is figuring out new things. It's coming up with new solutions. It's seeing, okay, why this doesn't work and how can I make it work? This is creativity. And when you don't use that in your business because you are using method from X and then that and then a template from here, you're not using your creativity. You are basically, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's not the creativity that you are capable to do and that you are meant to do. It's more like, I don't know, taking leftover from people and trying to make a meal from that. Yes. You will also fail to use your gifts, which, again, when you tap into your soul gifts, and that is such an amazing concept. Everyone has like soul gifts that will help you actually build your soul pool even bigger, or like fulfill that soul pool the best way possible. But when you're following others, you are not using your own gifts. You are trying to use the gifts that they have, and you may not have those gifts, and that's okay. We are not meant to have the same exact gifts, because this life would be super, super boring, and we would die right away. Because if everyone would be, I don't know, a doctor, or I want to say like something else. If everyone would be I don't know, engineer, no one would be able to, okay, so how do I grow plants? How do I grow food? How do I harvest food? Because everyone would be like sitting at the computer, and we will starve to death because no one would know how to grow food, right? That's why we are so different and we have unique gifts, and you're supposed to use your gifts, not other people's gifts. And because of all of these, you won't live up to your fullest potential. But that is like the most amazing thing that you can do. And that will skyrocket your business so much. So what you are doing exactly, it's basically you are trying to live someone else's fullest potential, because if they are successful with what they do, there's a good chance that they are living their fullest potential one way or the other. But when you force others things on yourself, you are trying to force their fullest potential on you, which won't be the same, again, because you are very deliberately different and unique than all, just as other people are. So to put this down, to switch the flip on this, you really need to learn who you are. Like, that is your first step. Start to learn who you are, because when you understand like how you are built, what are your skills, what are your soul gifts, what are your archetypes, what is your soul pull, and what are your strengths, your uniqueness, that is when things starts to shift very, very noticeably. This is what we work on so much in the coaching. I love to use the Dharma archetypes for this. I love to use intuition to see what is a soul gift for someone and how we can use it the best way possible in the business. Use human design to figure out, okay, energetically, what is the best business setup for you? Because when you work from those, it will be so much easier to make your own processes, to come up with your own tools, to come up with your own methods, to come up with your own programs, to come up with your unique style of content, which will stand out because it will be your uniqueness. I cannot emphasize this enough. So that is super, super, super helpful. And another super helpful thing is to start training your intuition, because that will help with the self-trust a lot, because a lot of this coming from not trusting yourself, which again comes from a self-image wound of you're not good enough, you're not special enough. And when you learn to trust yourself, that will start to go away. But that can only start with knowing who you are, because when you know your gifts, you can start to trust your gifts because you know them, and then you can use them. So it all like connects together. And that's why, again, like in the coaching, I really, really focus on figuring out the gifts and the strengths and the uniqueness of everyone. Because when you, and then give tools to be able to like subconsciously on an identity level root into that, because when you do that, everything that you had before for validation and recognition will flip completely, because you won't need other people's permission or other people to praise you. You will know that you're good enough from within. And that is a huge thing for your business. Okay, second one is to basically forcing yourself to be someone else. And that is something, sounds similar than the first one that I talked about, but I want to make a distinction with this, because the first one was more about forcing other people's methods on yourself, or way of doing business on yourself. This one is more like, oh, okay, so if I start to talk like this person, if I start to create content like this person, if I start to show up like this person, then I will be successful. So, and that basically strips you. What happens here is you are setting aside your own authenticity. You're setting aside who you really are. You're setting aside your true self, your core self, and you try to put on a mask of someone else who you think is successful, in the hope that it will make you successful too. And that is my really big beef with the template culture right now, and also like with ChatGPT a bit, because we were made to believe that with templates we can become successful. And what templates actually do when you start using templates, and again, I don't want to demonize anything, because everything has good or bad. It is a very good learning wheel for you to, when you start out with writing content, right? So it's a very good tool to have a template of, oh, okay, this is how someone would write a sales page. But where people get stuck with this is, oh, okay, so here's a template. I won't even read it properly. I will just fill in my words. And that's what I don't really like ChatGPT in a sense of creating content, how people used to create content, because the fact that you only have to give a few, I don't know, details about your business, and you can have prompts that write your landing page, for example, it will hinder you so much in your business. First of all, you won't have any connection to that sales page, any emotional connection to that sales page. And I will talk about the emotional connection in a bit. Why is it so important? But when you don't have an emotional connection to what you are selling, specifically for the sales page, that's when actually the doubt and the insecurity will creep in. And because deep down you will know, oh, I did not write this. I did not write this because I'm not good enough to write something like this. And because I'm not good enough to write something like this, I'm actually not valuable enough to make sales, because I didn't put in the work, and I didn't, I don't know, learn how to do this, or a lot of things that the subconscious can come up with to prove to you that actually you're not valuable and you're not worthy of making sales. So what this will do to you is, when you put out the sales page, it actually won't convert. It won't work. Not because the sales page is bad per se, or not because the prompt was bad per se. It's because you don't have the emotional connection of, oh, okay, this is my idea, this is my truth, this is my authenticity in there, because there's no authenticity in that content. You don't have, if you're writing this with a prompt, you don't have anything that is you, aside maybe the name of your program or what it does, but how you would present that, how you would make people understand how that program will change their lives, that's not in the content, because it's a template. It's someone else's template. It's someone else's energy in that content. That's it. I can just go so deep with this. I won't with this episode, but I will do another one on this, like how energetics affect content, actually, what you create and what energy you create in actually affects the views on your content and the likes and everything, like the engagement. But for now, just really, I want you to understand this, that even on a subconscious level, you won't believe that sales page is good. And if you believe that sales page is not good, other people will believe the same. Again, because of energetics and the electromagnetic field. I will get into this in a later episode. But basically, they will read the page and they will feel like, no, there's something off with this. I don't want to buy this. And you will get into this loop, like, oh my God, this is not working. Whatever I do, I'm not working. Again, get to the conclusion, like, entrepreneurship is not for me. I just can't make it work. Everyone has so much success with that, and I don't. And it is because of these under the surface workings of the subconscious, how this one action can translate into your identity. It can fuel the identity of, oh, okay, I'm not good enough how I am. I am not good enough to share who I am, because I can't even do like a proper sales page. I can't even tell what I am selling. How can I expect people to buy that? And again, this is your subconscious communication. So using these templates blocks your creativity so much, and actually puts you in a bigger, again, with meaning, using templates is using templates without thinking about, okay, how is this put together? Because like I said, using templates to learn about creating a sales page, or learn about creating a reel, or how, like, having different reels, for example, and seeing like, oh, okay, this person did this. I like XYZ from that. This person did this. I would love to try ABC from that. That is a different way of learning and figuring out your own way of expressing yourself. That is amazing. Do that all day, all night. You will learn so much, and you will learn so fast and grow so fast from that. You will be surprised. But seeing a reel on Instagram and, oh, I will do the exact same thing as this person did because, ooh, she got 1 million views. That will mean I will get 1 million views, right? And because it doesn't work like this, because if it would work like this, everyone would have 1 million views on TikTok and Instagram. What will happen is you will create the exact same reel. You're not using uniqueness. You're not authentic because, again, you're using someone else's content frame by frame. And what will be in the result, you will feel like, oh, actually this content, and again, this won't be conscious, but in your subconscious, this content is not authentic. It's not original. It's not even entertaining as much as the other content. Oh, hers was so much better. Oh, I flapped with the copy here. It just doesn't land as much. Like, you start to dissect it and criticize yourself subconsciously. Some of it will be conscious. And when you post it, and there will be not a lot of views, especially if it's maybe your first few contents, you will have another proof. You created another proof for yourself that, oh, I'm not good in this. I'm not good at this. Content doesn't work for me. I'm not good enough. I cannot be myself. I did what the other person did and it's not working for me. That something must be wrong with me. It just messes with our heads so much. And that's because the world doesn't need another of the same person. Again, you are made unique in a very, very purposeful way. And copying others is stripping you from that unique purpose. And you are good. You are different for a very, very good reason. To create something different, to show a new angle to people on the same topic that they maybe didn't consider before. That is a huge thing. That is an amazing thing. That's how people actually come to mastery, to have the same topic and learn all the different angles and then learn all the different levels of that topic. That is mastery. And you contribute to that by being yourself, by sharing your own thoughts, by sharing your own viewpoints, by sharing your own experiences, by creating something that was never created that way. So that will help you connect people in a different way. And you are here to do that. You are meant to do that. Because your soul craves authenticity. The soul craves the authentic. Because your soul craves authenticity, it is one of the biggest wishes and desires of the soul to be itself, to be the core self. We all have this core self that is basically our soul self, which means that your version, who you were when you were born, basically. And if you could strip away all the limiting beliefs, all the self-image wounds, all the trauma, all the emotional imbalances, everything that you carry on right now, which you learned from others, basically, if you can strip that away with like a snap, that would be your core self. And that is the most capable, most beautiful, most unique person in the entire world. Everyone's core self is. And you are that core self right now. Like, it's under all of those clothes that you threw in the closet. Your core self is there. And when you understand, when you become a little bit more yourself, when you stop copying others, and when you start creating from your own ideas and own viewpoints, that is you going back to your core self. That is you stepping into your, again, one of your biggest powers that you can step into. Because that version of you was meant to make the business impactful beyond your imagination right now, and create success with the business that is beyond your wildest dreams. I'm not even kidding you. So And the most successful people, if who you know, are actually like the most successful business people you know. I bet if you think of someone, and I cannot for the life of me think of anyone right now, but they have their very unique style, right? We would call that they have a very unique writing style, they have a very unique way of creating content, they have a very unique way of explaining things. That's that's them being their core selves, that's them being their authentic selves. That's exactly the same thing. So that is what actually is bringing you success. And when you are not yourself, oh, Dan Co is I think one of a good example of being authentic, or Kathleen Zenkina, if you know Manifestation Babe, she is very much her core self. There's again like levels of this, but I would say she's more her core self than the average person. So, and they have huge success because they're not mimicking others, they are being themselves as much as they can at this level in their lives right now. And you can know someone is their core self because others start to mimic them a lot. Again, if it is coming from like not a self-image balance, because I can go into that route too, but I won't. But with like when you feel, you know, those type of people who, oh yeah, I wish to be her because she just feels so nice. That is of like, oh, okay, that's your soul. Oh, she's her core self. I want that too. Because that's one of the desires of the soul, to become its core self, your core self. And that is again hard because we are conditioned to fit in. That's again the ego is coming in. Oh, I want to fit in. I cannot stand out because I stand out. If I stand out, I will be alone and then I will die. And also we are conditioned as a society to fit in, to conform, to be the same, because there are people out there who don't have in their best interest for us to be unique and powerful. Again, that's a discussion for a whole other topic or other podcast topic. But also a lot of us have so much trauma around being ourselves. Just when you were a kid and you experienced, oh, I cannot be myself, I cannot, I don't know, speak, I cannot sing in front of a class because people laugh at me. That's your authenticity getting traumatized. Or you having a fight with your mom on, I don't know, something that you want, and then giving in to your mom. That is you again having a trauma around, oh, I cannot prioritize myself, I cannot be fully myself, I cannot be fully seen because then something bad will happen. So we have a lot around these, and how you will be able to be more authentic and actually be more visible, because business is visibility. You won't really, you cannot really go around that. You have to be okay with visibility, you have to be okay of being seen, and that can only come from you clearing out the trauma around visibility and authenticity that you currently have in your life. Okay, the third blocks is you are only focusing on the strategy, which would seem controversial, because what else would you focus on in the business? But in my long years of experience with business, I realized that strategy is maybe 5% of the whole equation. And the most of the blocks come from the self-image and the emotional imbalances. Like basically all the trauma that you have, what I already been mentioning, your fear of being seen, or the fear of not being liked by other people, or not feeling valuable, not feeling special, not feeling like you, I don't know, you are needed, what you can create that is needed with people. All those feelings, all those self-image wounds and imbalances will translate into the business. Because how many times have you thought, for example, oh, I never be as successful as her, or oh, my ideas are not as good as XYZ's, or oh, I wish I was this creative that person. And these are your self-image imbalances. These are your self-image imbalances talking, which will translate into your identity, which is actually already in your identity, and it is ingrained in your subconscious, which is basically running the show. So our subconscious identity is, I think, affects, I want to say even determines our actions and decisions way, way, way more than our conscious choices. Because when you believe, for example, that you're not creative, you will start to copy others, which I already explained why it's bad for you. You will overthink the content creation and it will feel such a drag. And when you create the content, it won't perform as much because you have the belief that it's not valuable. So others will have the belief that it's not valuable. When you're feeling not good enough, and again, this is a subconscious thing. I think that's for a lot of people, not feeling good enough is all like a conscious thing, but it's very, very deeply ingrained in the subconscious. You will not launch the program that you dream about because maybe someone else has something similar to it, and you will say like, oh, there's already existing, so no one would buy mine, right? Because I'm obviously not good enough to create something that is better than what already exists, or I don't have the experience that this person have, or I don't have the funds that this person have, right? You will have so many excuses, and that all are coming from the self-image wound. And for example, not feeling valuable will lead to majorly underpricing yourself, and also over delivering, because you will try to give extra value however you can just to feel an ounce of value, but it won't really come because on the inside, deep inside, subconsciously, you don't feel valuable. And until you feel valuable as a person with your gifts, and that's why it's so important to root into your gifts, because they are really true soul gifts, because that will give you such a sense of value that nothing else really can. We work a lot in the coaching in that, to help people root into their gifts, because that's such a major up level in not fishing for compliments and not fishing for validation from clients, and really stepping into a confident place, a truly confident place of, yes, this is my price and this is what I'm worth. And if 1,000 people scream otherwise at me in this moment, I still believe that this is what I'm worth. This is where you can get with this, with the right tools, with the right subconscious reprogramming. This is where you can get with this. And this will literally change your whole entire business. Actually, your whole life, but for your business, definitely. And the other important thing with here to understand is that everything in this world is equally energetic and physical, which means that when you're only focusing on the physical side of the business, by that I mean like the strategy, the content creation, the working with the clients, like all the physical stuff that we do in this physical world, and you don't focus on the energetics, which will mean your subconscious programming, your emotions, your identities, your beliefs, like everything that is under the surface. When you don't work on that, you won't be energetically a match to higher and higher and higher and higher success, even though you're doing everything perfectly on the physical side. If energetically you're not evolving, you're not shifting into higher frequencies, you won't be a match for higher quality clients. You won't be a match for higher income, more success, more impact. It's the two has to work together. And like I said, with business, I tend to see that in the beginning, especially, it's more like 95% energetics and 5% physical for a lot of people, because a lot of people who start a business, they are very deep in the physical stuff, which is amazing, it's fine, but they don't really focus on the energetic stuff, and that is what actually will give you a huge visible shift in your life, and start to bring in the clients, and start your videos to pop up, and start to, I don't know, explode your your view count and engagement and everything else that we want with the content. So this is where the magic happens, to be honest. And what you can do is healing your self-image. That is, I would prescribe that as a recipe for every business owner when they start a business. Like, start with self-image healing, because when you are updating your identity with the right ingredients, with the right emotional ingredients, that will skyrocket your business. Like, there are emotional ingredients for everything in this world, just as it is for business success and more money and 10K months and 100K months and dream clients and everything. And when you build in those emotional ingredients in your identity and basically embody those identities, and you can do that with subconscious rewiring and the right tools, you will be energetically matched to that. That's what we work a lot on the coachings too, to build in the right ingredients into the subconscious, into the identity, to basically shift the identity in the subconscious level. So your frequency, your energetic frequency raises, and you can call in the things that you want. You become the energetic match to the things that you want. Like, that is how it works. So that's very important. And the other important thing is emotional mastery, which brings me to my fourth block, is that you are ruled by emotions. And I can easily talk to myself like 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, I think, because we are so much ruled by our emotions, and we are not even aware of the fact that our emotions are actually running the show from the behind. What do I mean by this? Is your fear of not being liked is basically stopping you from creating content, or it is prompting you to please everyone. So you make your content super vanilla and super basically basic, and just to not to ruffle any feathers. And I'm not saying that you have to go out and hurt people, but when you are pleasing others, you are trying to think of, oh, okay, so if I create this content that people seemingly like, then they will like me, so I will have more clients and I will have more success. But that's a very like messed up thinking, messed up way of creating, because again, when you have to create, you need to create from your uniqueness. And that doesn't come from, oh, what do people want to see? Because maybe what people need to see is not what they want to see. And you are here to show them what they need to see, not what they want to see. And they will resonate just as much with what they need to see. They just don't know it yet that they need that, right? It's like when Tom Ford invented it wasn't Tom Ford who invented the car. Oh my God, what is an invention? I don't know who invented the microwave, but people didn't know that they needed a microwave, right? Or people didn't know that they needed cars. They were actually resisting the cars for a long time because they were still like afraid of that. But they didn't. Like, if you have to go, you had the idea of the car, and you go around and ask like 10 people, oh, so do you want a car? And people would like, no, I have horses. Like, those are very reliable and they don't use as much fuel or whatever. So no one in the world would have told that person like, yes, I really want a car. But it turns out they needed it. They needed the modernization. They needed the way to travel fast, to transport things fast, right? Like, the whole humanity, the society needed that, but they didn't know that they needed that. And you are watching this podcast, so you are here to create amazing, beautiful things, very, very unique things that may not even exist in this world. So you need to be okay with creating something that you don't know if people will like, because they may won't like it. I want to go even further. They will actually may hate it because it was triggering for them. But that is a good thing. Triggering people is a good thing because that is, again, helping them see in imbalances in themselves that they can heal. And when they heal those imbalances, they will grow and they will raise the frequency and they will have better lives. But if you have the fear of not being liked, which is then coming from your emotions, you will do everything in your power, go out of your way to please people, to be liked by people, to answer every comment, to when you have a mean comment, you will try to explain yourself like, oh my God, I didn't really mean that. Like, that is so much energy to give around without purpose. And oh my God, it's just like so much. And I've been doing that. Like, that's why I'm so passionate about this. I've been doing that for so long. So it will, like, whenever you fear something, whenever you fear of, oh my God, if I post this content, people will laugh at me. Whenever you fear of something, whenever you have a heavy emotion like guilt or shame or even anxiety, your system will do everything in its power to avoid that feeling. So in a result, you actually won't post content, you won't be original, you won't create from authenticity, you won't create from your heart. You will try to, again, mimic others, copy others, which won't really get you the results that you can create and would give you so amazing a business and life. And you will go for the safe route and not really fulfilling what you are here to fulfill, not really creating the business that you are here to create, and not really experiencing the success that you are here to experience. And also the other way around, this is the same with wants, and especially with ego wants. And I will talk about ego desires in another podcast. I have so many podcast episodes coming to you. The ego desires, basically like desires that promise you instant happiness, instant gratification, instant joy, instant not joy, but instant happiness and instant success. Like, the ego wants instant gratification all the time, and it wants things fast, basically. So you will go for the things that's actually behind, a lot of the times that is behind jumping from platform to platform, because, well, that's one of the reasons. There's a lot of other reasons from the subconscious identity that makes you jump from platform to platform all the time. But one is that the ego desire. So, oh, you see that a person on TikTok grew their following, I don't know, to 10,000 people in 3 months. Oh, okay, so Instagram not working, so I am going to TikTok. And then it may be in 1 month, it doesn't work for you. So you see like, oh, okay, so maybe I should do like YouTube Shorts. And then you jump to YouTube Shorts, and you won't really have the time to build an audience anywhere because you are jumping from platform to platform. That's one way the ego desire will basically blindside you and go for the shiny new thing that promises the instant happiness, the instant success, like, having everything without really working for it. That's what the ego wants. And those emotions, like, really, we are not even aware of the time, most of it. We just like aware, like, oh, I really don't want to do this, or I'm not in the mood to do this, or, oh, I'm super excited about this new thing. Like, fear, ego desire. all of it. And every time you doubt yourself in your business, that is your emotion running the show. Every time you are not creating something because you doubt yourself, that is your emotion running the show. Every time you are not making the money, not asking for the price that you want to ask for, emotional imbalance, emotions running the show. it is everywhere in your business, especially, actually it's everywhere in your life, but everywhere in your business. You not starting the podcast that you want to start, your emotions running the show, you not, I don't know, people not signing up for your coaching program or for your, I don't know, service, your emotions, you are having an emotional imbalance and it's running the show. It always goes back to emotions and self-image of why things, why we are not able to create things in our lives. And if this wasn't enough, there's also these artificial emotional highs and lows which we put ourselves into. And again, that's a topic for a whole other podcast episode. But what you need to know right now is we can actually artificially put ourselves, and we do that all the time. Again, this is something that you are not aware of, but when you start to get aware of, you are seeing it all the time. It's like this, this annoying little noise that you are not hearing for a very long time, and then you finally hear it and you cannot unhear it. That is basically artificial emotional lows. When, like, on the one end of the spectrum, you feel like, oh my god, like everything is doomed, nothing ever will work out, and I'm just like, I don't know, this whole business is meant to fail. Like, this is the artificial emotional low. And on the other side, when we're super elated and happy, like, oh my god, this is the tool that will change everything, or this is the process that, or this is the course that will change everything, and nothing can go wrong. And it's the other end of the spectrum. And what we do is basically we are traveling from one side to the other, basically all the time, from day to day, from week to week. It depends on your energetic setup or your emotional consciousness, I want to say. And we have these super high emotionally charged periods when we are like, yeah, like I can do it, and motivated and elated, and let's do it. And on the next day, out of the blue, I'm like I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay on the bed and watch Netflix and just don't, I don't know, I'm not even cut out to be an entrepreneur. Like, this is the emotional roller coaster caused by the artificial highs and the lows. So that is also, and it is blocking you because it eats up a lot of your energy. Emotions, especially these, like going from high to low all the time, eats up a lot of energy, a lot of emotional and mental energy. And it will basically feel like you are driving a car with a stick when you are like like this is basically how you will feel like you're progressing in your life and business, because it almost like you go with on the elation side, you go like to I'm from Europe, I will say meters, like 2 meters ahead, and then you finally like, and then you out of the blue like hit the brakes, and it's just like, oh, I have to stop, and then you're stopping and you don't know why, and then you get excited again, and then you go like 2 meters again, and then you stop again. Like, this is how your business will feel, and this is all caused by emotions. So again, what to do with that is learning emotional mastery. That is, again, such a big part of my coaching, helping people learn emotional mastery and help them to learn, feel the feelings, be okay with uncomfortable feelings. That is the first step. Like, you have to be okay with discomfort, you have to be okay with feeling anxiety, you have to be okay with just like having these emotions. And then you have to be able to decode them, because every single emotion that you have is a very important message on how you can actually up level yourself to your next stage. I'm not even kidding you. When you learn to decode these emotions and you learn to shift the emotion by releasing the emotion and building in the new identity that your soul wants to build in, that is instant up level. Instant up level. I did this multiple times in my life, really, and it works. It works for clients, it worked for myself. It's amazing. So that is one of the skills that you will be the most thankful you learn in your life, because it will make your business easier. It will make your relationship so much easier. Oh my God. It will make your fitness even easier. Like I actually applied it to my physical life area. Oh my god, whole change. Like I was an emotional leader and now I am not, and it's amazing what this can do. So those are the 4 blocks, and this is what you can do with them. And I really, really advise you to do this because it will really, really change how you do business and how you feel yourself in the business. And if you need help with that, you can actually book a call to a free clarity call with me, which is completely free, where we can look into your biggest block right now, see how it is affecting your business, and see how you can unblock that block. Like, what is your next first step to release that block, to get to the business that you are meant to create, that is meant to be successful, meant to be prosperous, meant to be super duper duper fun. Oh, that is one of the most important thing I think in the business, to enjoy it as much as you can. So this is what we work on the free call. And I always give so many tools, so be prepared to have a lot of tools in your tool belt after the session. And yeah, if that's something that interests you, find the link in the description below. And please, please, please remember that one of your biggest gifts and one of your biggest tools and powers is to be yourself. And when you learn to be yourself in your business and you learn to use your own gifts and uniqueness and connect to your value, like get into all that self-image healing things, master your emotions, and add that to a strategy that is aligned with how you work the best. Oh my god, that creates the most amazing business that you can imagine in your life. That will be fun to do, that will expand you, that will actually have an impact that you will be super proud of, and in return will bring in amount of money and abundance that maybe feels out of reach right now. So it is a I really want people to do business differently. I really want people to do business from their souls, and I really, really wish that you take the first step for that in any way you can do right now. Okay, thank you for being here, and see you in the next episode. Bye.